Hey everybody, it's your girl Honey G with the T, and I'm back with another review of Sistas Season 2, Episode 21, Where the Heart Is. If you are new to my channel and have not liked, shared, and subscribed, I would appreciate if you go ahead and do so. And also, hit that notification bell button down below. Tell me why Zach and Karen then got caught by Aaron in her office, hunching all up against the wall. All up against the wall, baby. Now, Pam, she at the door, ill hustling as usual. So she already up on game about what's going on up in there. So, girl, Aaron had to forgot his phone. So she trying to stop Aaron. And Aaron, when he heard the noises going on in there, he must have thought that Zach and Karen was in that fight. So he bust through the door. In the sight he seen, Zach then yelled at Aaron to close the door, and Aaron then went and sat outside to wait on Karen, and Zach and Karen in there just full of shock, and he trying to find his clothes, and she trying to help him find his clothes, and she embarrassed and shame, and she telling him, like, what is this you got on me? What type of spell is this you got on me? He like, you got a spell on me too? And they basically just in there reneging. And honestly, I feel like Zach was going to eventually do that anyway, because you can't really move on. You can't really use somebody else to get over somebody that you trying to get over. Like, it never works out like that. You're going to eventually renege and go back in some kind of way, whether it's just for sex or for closure. You're gonna eventually renege and go back for something. And so back to the point. Karen and Zach come out the office, and Zach leave, and Pam, she sitting there being nosy, asking if Karen need anything, some sanitizer, need anything. She was like, no, just gonna get Aaron's phone out the office and give it to him. So Pam, she do that, and then she leave. And so Karen, she sit down by Aaron, and poor Aaron. But Karen sit down by Aaron and explain to him what he just seen. She didn't mean for that to happen. And he was like, well, I know that he was holding back from having sex with her. And so he understood, but he was like, so you needed it that bad? And so she was like, I mean, no, I didn't need it that bad, but we were in there talking, and he started crying, and I started crying, and that's when Aaron was like, you still love him? And she was honest with him, and she told him, yes, I do still love him. So Aaron feel like she should go ahead and take her time and figure out what she really want to be. And so he kissed her on her forehead and left. Meanwhile, Sabrina and Danny is on the way to Andy's to, I guess, get on her ass about marrying Gary. And Sabrina get a call from Jackie at the credit card fraud division. She said she got the video of the time of purchase off of Karen's credit cards, and it wasn't a male seen on camera. Jackie told her it was a woman that was seen on camera and signed Zach's name. So she done sent Sabrina the video of the woman. And Danny, she said that it looked like Karen's clients. And I'm trying to think, who could it be? Like, in my mind, my first thought when they first said it was a woman, my first thought was Pam. But when they looked at the video and they didn't recognize the girl, I was like, no, it can't be Pam, because they know exactly how Pam looked. So I figured it was the first lady that came in there from some previous episodes ago to get her little 27 piece hooked up. And then I thought, okay, it can't be Fatima. I know she was once a client, but it can't be Fatima because we all know Fatima. They know Fatima. And so I'm like, okay, I'm thinking it's the church lady, or either Aaron might have met somebody at Karen's shop and got her to do it. I don't know. I'm confused on that. But it's really, it really brings me back to the first lady, simply because what other reason would we have to meet her on this show? They never brought her back on the show ever since. Like, we never saw her again. So, I mean, I feel like my suspect is the first lady. Y'all can drop down in the comment box below and tell me what y'all think, but I think that's who it's gonna turn out to be. And back at Maurice's place, Calvin still want to bump heads with him about Sabrina and what Maurice had told Sabrina. But Maurice, he trying to get over it. He even asked Calvin, like, you ain't gonna speak, you in my house, which was correct. You in his house. You have some manners. Although you may be paying half of the rent, like Maurice said, you paying half of a piece of my rent. You're not paying my rent. You're paying a piece of my rent. So speak when you being spoken to in my house. Period. Calvin, he's still all pressed and in his chest about Sabrina. Dude, get over it. Like, if you know it ain't true, get over it. But anyways, they have a conversation. Calvin stormed off in his room, taking Maurice's bottle of wine to go drink it all the way up. Then, Fatima, she meets up with Zach at his job to bring him $25,000. I mean, that seemed to kind of sketchy to me. Like, why are you bringing him $25,000 in cash and in a brown paper bag? And then she stated to him that the houses, that a broker came and bought all the houses because they was finna put up a store. So I was like, that didn't make no sense either. Unless they bought all the houses for their families to come live near the business so they can be closer to their business. I mean, that's the only thing that makes sense to me. But because Zach was thrown, like, dang, the house ain't even finished yet. It's already sold. Fatima was like, yeah, a broker came and bought it, and they say they finna put some stores up here or whatever. So and he was like, so this all mine? He looking at $25,000, like, this all mine? Fatima like, yep, that's all yours, but it has to be invested. So keep whatever you need and invest the rest. Give it back to him. And so he like, can I keep 5 G's? And so I give me a place and then I give the rest back to him. And she was like, how about you keep 2 G's and come stay with me? Passing him some keys and shit. I mean, I really like Zach and Fatima. And I love their chemistry. I love their vibes together and all. But I just think that that's kind of, it just kind of give me pick me type of bitch vibes. But anyways, if she feel like it'll work out their way, I wish nothing but the best for them. But honestly, I feel like you kind of moving too fast. Like, honestly, you just kind of, to me, you kind of pushing yourself up on into something serious instead of just letting it flow and let it be what it's supposed to be. And so she giving him keys, telling him to keep 2 G's, turn in the rest, invest the rest, and come stay with me. So he like, you sure you really want me to do that? You know, thinking in the back of his mind, you could tell in the back of his mind he really don't want to do that, because For one, he just had sex with his ex. He already done reneged on Fatima. And I'm sure he got plans on getting back with Karen. And I'm sure he's being honest with himself about it. And he's consciously being honest with himself. And which is why I feel like he was kind of hesitant about taking the keys, but he still took them anyway. Fatima gave him the keys to their home and told her that she gonna see her baby when he get home. Then she asked for a kiss. Her unknowingly that he just got through fooling with Karen. He didn't want to kiss her. He did want to be respectful enough to not want to, share them type of, So that was respectful enough for him to not really want to kiss her in the mouth. He just kissed her on the forehead, but it still was some dog ass nigga shit. Don't get me wrong. Meanwhile, stupid ass Andy and con artist ass Gary is back at her crib talking about the engagement. She stated that he's jealous and she don't really like it. So that's something that he's gonna have to change. And so he was like, well, I can go to counseling. I'm already in counseling, so yeah, I'll go. What in the contradicting yourself, ain't telling the whole story, white lie is this? You already in counseling, but you will go to counseling? To me, Gary, get your lie straight. Get your damn lie straight. Anyway, he said he'll go to counseling, but she needs to go to counseling too. And she was like, what I need counseling for? So he was like, because you got them thottish ways, bro. It's like you have to have attention. You always smiling. You always flirting. You always being gay thoughts. And you need some thought counseling. She was like, I don't feel like I need counseling. And he was like, well, we need counseling. We both need counseling. Couples counseling. And she was like, well, you didn't say it like that, Gary. Basically, she fell for the okie doke. She accepted the engagement ring. And now they engaged. So, what threw me off is, excuse me, y'all. It ain't the wrong, it's the reef. Gary had already asked her for a date whenever she said, it means that we're engaged. It means that we're engaged. Oh, that's great. Have you thought of a date? A date? Nigga, I just made up my mind that I'm gonna actually go through with this marriage. And now you talking about a date? Like, what you want me to say tomorrow at 12 o'clock? Meet me at the church, at the Justice of Peace? Or something like, what you want me to say? So, I don't know. I'm kind of side-eyeing Gary on that because I don't even really know what he got up his sleeve. And why he's so pressed on marrying Andy whenever he ain't even all the way divorced with Jasmine. But you so pressed on marrying Andy, it's like, it ain't because he just love Andy so much and he wants to marry her today. Side eye. What is the real reason, Gary, that Andy just have to be Mrs. Borders right now, today? So as Gary and Andy and them proposing to one another, Karen and the gang walk in, full of fuck that nigga energy, telling Gary he needs to bounce. Then he like, oh no, he can stay. Actually, he needs to stick around for this one. And Sabrina like, no, he needs to leave. So Sabrina telling Gary to get out. Gary like, okay, I'ma leave. He leaves. And they all sit down around Andy, giving her the silent look like, bitch, you stupid. So Danny like, oh, look at that ring. You engaged now? And Danny like, oh, congratulations. And Sabrina like, And Andy look at Karen like, you told them, didn't you? And Karen, she bluntly say, yeah, I told them. And Danny like, congratulations. Andy flashes her engagement ring. The bitches in the back. Then she told her, don't get a prenup. and Sabrina like, Danny. And she like, so what? If you're gonna get your ass beat, at least get paid for it. My point exactly. Shout out to Danny for that one, because that made a lot of sense. Sabrina tells Danny that she being real insensitive and she needs to stop due to the fact that how many women are around here battling domestic abuse today. Then Andy makes it clear to them that she knows Gary. They don't know Gary, but she know Gary. And Sabrina said, really? After all the hell he put you through? Even after he squeezed the living shit out of your ass? You're still going to marry him? Yes. Then Karen, she put it out there. She stated that, look, I can't judge Andy because I just relapsed with Zach a few minutes ago in the office at my job. And Aaron came through and bust in on us. Hunching all up against the wall. All up against the wall. And then she's shocked now. She like, oh, so you had sex with Zach even before you found out that he wasn't the one that scammed you with your credit cards? And so Karen like, what? And Danny like, yeah. She like, how you know? Danny say, we got proof, shawty. We got the video, shawty. And here go right here. Karen look at it. Karen don't look quite surprised. I'm like, okay, well, now I'm kind of confused. Is it the first lady? Because she probably would have called that out. Is it a client? Because she ain't called that out. I don't know. We'll find out maybe in next episode, hopefully. So after Karen seen the video, you could tell she felt quite bad. But yet and still, it was nothing that she could really do about it because Zach had already been locked up for it. The girls had to remind Andy of her abusive boyfriend in college and how much she took off of him before she even gained the courage to leave. So she promised them that if Gary put his hands on her again, that she's going to leave. Then she proceeded to say, I know Gary. Y'all don't know Gary. I see the best in Gary. Y'all see the worst in him. Then Sabrina said the realest shit I done heard all season on this show. Sabrina told Andy, you don't know Gary. All you know is a man that you was sleeping with and he was going back home to his wife every night. You don't have no clue who the everyday Gary is, honey. Facts. So, after Sabrina won the Oscar for the night, they went on to the grocery store to get wine, snacks, and everything else you can name. And while they in the grocery store, going down the aisles, kicking, haha, they brought up Zach. And as they was talking about Zach, guess who hit the corner? Fatima. And she wasn't by herself. She heard them say Zach. And so she was like, excuse me. Did you just say Zach? And the girls replied, yeah, that's her ex. They pointed at Karen like, yeah, that's her ex. And they just got through having them a freaky deaky evening. And you know how that go. You know how exes are. And they kind of threw me on this part right here. Because honestly, I thought like they was slick coming for Fatima. Like, I thought that it was finna be on some flip round shit where, like, on some shade shit. Like, why is y'all telling Fatima what Zach and Karen done got through doing if y'all don't really know for sure that she fucking Zach? It just sounded like some shit some bitches to do trying to be shady. But that wasn't even what it was. It was just a coincidence. So they looking all in Fatima basket, talking about what she had in her basket, and something about that must be for her new boo. And Andy was like, "Oh, you did tell me that you was dating, but you never told me who. You gonna spill the tea?" And Fatima, she's standing there looking like, yeah. Andy was like, "So who is it?" And Fatima was like, Zach. And they like, Zach? Which is Zach? Before Fatima can even say which Zach, Zach come running down the aisle like a little kid in the candy store with a bottle of guava nectar in his hand. Somebody, ooh, they got guava nectar in here. And Fatima like, that Zach. And she's shaking her head. Karen shaking her head. And that was the end of this episode. And my input on that part, it seems like Zach has been busted and he's going to have to come clean about what he did with Karen. Because if he don't come clean, Karen just might come clean in the middle of the grocery store. And never know. Never know. But anyways, thank y'all for tuning in. And once again, if you are new to my channel, I would appreciate if you like, share, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell button down below. Until next time, peace.